Catalyst for change with the chance to thrive. Crystal is the one to stir up gifts and save lives. You get exposure, promotion, and marketing too. And advertise for business owners just like you. On Storytime, your interview is global. Virtual or in person, just come on the show. Yo, your story matters. Crystals will open the door. 40 years of experience, ready to give you more on Storytime. Get ready for Storytime. Hey, come on.
All right, everybody, are you ready? This is Crystal. I am so excited to have you here on Storytime. I want you to know that now you can be seen and heard. Yes, Storytime has expanded, and you will be able to see yourself streaming live on multiple platforms. So come on over and get with us and check it out. I want you to go ahead and schedule your interview, and you never know where they might find you online. So, thanks for watching. Yes, indeed. I want to say welcome and thank you so much for being here. We are so excited. We are so excited to be able to have this conversation with a person that I have met and have had conversations with. I actually interviewed him back in 2023. So we're having another conversation, just catching up a little bit more just to see how it's been. And like I said, this man, he's the voice. He brings the voice, he brings the energy, and he has timing and everything it takes to do what you do on the radio. So we are excited to have him here. And you've seen him. He's been in the industry since about 2011. And many of you know him. And let's go ahead. I see him in the studio. Let me go ahead to bring him on up and get this thing going. And we are so excited to have him here today. And with that being said, Mac 357, you in the building?
I am. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you today?
I'm not as fine as you, but I'm getting there.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna take that as a compliment and thank you so much. I'm so excited to have you back. You know, we had this conversation back in 2023. And you're still going at it. You're still going strong, man.
Still going strong. It'll be going on for about 9 years now that I've been doing the show. So,
Wow, 9 years, man.
but
And
I've
here's
been
the thing.
doing it originally from since, like you said, 2011. So, yeah, long time.
Yeah, and here's the interesting thing. Ever since I've known you, I know your name, but a lot of people don't know your name. So I always allow my guests to come on and kind of give them a little bit of their history. But you know, I know that you are strategic about how much you give out on the internet, and I find that very interesting. Everybody knows you as Matt 357. Everybody knows you about the evening experience, but they don't know much more than that. So take a moment and give us a little bit of your background, where you're from, a little bit of your upbringing, and what makes you Matt 357 and who you are today.
Okay. I was born in Mount Vernon, New York, home of Denzel, home of Heavy D, God rest his soul. Uh, a lot of y'all don't know him as Dwight Myers, but that's who was in Mount Vernon, New York. I'll be sure, Albert Brown, Pete Rock, CL Smooth, um, Jeff Red, Case, Art Carney, Dick Clark, Felicia Rashad, Debbie Allen. Um, all of their, their parents lived in Mount Vernon, New York, and different other things. Um, Born there, born in Mount Vernon Hospital, so I'm a real Mount Vernonite. Lived there all my life up until the time I was about 49, and currently I live in Virginia. But grew up there, went to Graham Elementary School, number 9, Mount Vernon High School, A.B. Davis, which was 7th grade, up by itself. Nichols, which was 8th grade by itself. Now it's a combined. They do 7th and 8th grade together, but the process is yeah, been there a long, long time. Um, Liked radio, and before radio, yes, I was former law enforcement. I was a court officer in Austin, New York. Facilitated to work for major corporation for the last 13 some odd years with Apple Incorporated. So been around, done a lot of different things in life. But in 2011, a friend of mine, his name was Sean Montgomery, aka DJ Money Making Sean, aka the Cold War Soldier. Um, he had a show called Thicker and Thicker. That's where my career started in radio. It was his show. He was the president, CEO, and everything else. Gave me the opportunity. He said, "You're a business guy, and you like talking to people. Well, come on in." And the show in of itself was about plus size models receiving the same opportunities as regular size models in the industry. So he used to have a lot of plus size models, people who did print work, facilitating to do, you know. Some of them walked the runway. Uh, Jeannie Ferguson was the first guest we had on, and she walked the runway in the BET fashion show. They did it at the BET Awards one year, and he had her on, and then he was a strong advocate. Had a plus size magazine, so forth and so on. Um,
Wow.
and then I bopped around on Heathen Alumni, which was another show. And There was another radio show I was a part of, but they were all on In the Mix Radio. Shout out to In the Mix Radio. Um, Big time, much love. They are where I started and ended my career as well. Because I left them for a bit. I was with DSN, the Matrix Studios Network. I was on Gyroscope Media at one time. I was a correspondent more or less, had a show that was more politically based. So I've bopped around to a few different shows, but now I landed on what they call the evening experience. So you'll hear, hey, once again, it's your boy Mac 357. This is the Evening Experience Radio. 7 to 9 on Thursday goes down right here in the boudoir until COVID is over. We here, we live, we lit. Let's get it. Hey. And
I
yo,
love that. I love that when you do that. You got that down pat, and you most definitely have a radio voice.
I
Okay,
appreciate that.
definitely needed you to be on the radio. Everybody can do that, you know. And like I said, you know exactly what to do when you get on the radio. You know how to find out about the guests and bring out the information, the
Oh,
topic.
yes.
You know about the talking points and you know how to flow in the conversation. Now, I do notice that I want to go back because you don't share a lot of personal information and because people really don't know much about your name and stuff like that. Is that intentional?
Always. Because a lot of times you'll get people who facilitate the process of sharing information, and then people get a hold of that information and they get their accounts hacked. People start to take certain things off of their page, and mine is copyrighted. Just to let people know, you can't just come on my page and just take stuff because you feel like it. Because I'm a limited liability corporation. If you touch anything on my page, I can sue you. So I make sure I trademarked everything that I currently have, my logo, my name, so forth and so on. And I tell people all the time, if you're gonna have a show, make sure the legal stuff is there. That way, if somebody touches anything, you have proof. Make sure you register with your ID, because there's only one you.
That's right.
And you know what state you live in, what's on your ID, and so forth and so on. So make sure all of the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. That's how you stay safe.
And you not only went to get structured, but you chose the top of the line because you can always be a nonprofit, a corporation, a DBA, but you went ahead and did a LLC, limited liability incorporated.
And the reason why is because limited liability corporations and of themselves facilitate to have whatever monies are made under that particular name or structure. You can only be sued under that. If you got $2 in the bank, that's all they can get is $2. But the process is to limit the liability and limit the amount of money or things you can be touched with under that name.
Right.
And that's why I have a limited liability corporation now. There's S corps out there. There's a lot of different structures that you can facilitate to use. I chose LLC because once again, I don't plan to be sued, but the process is as long as I'm able to talk with, speak to, and give people an opportunity to be on my show. That process happens when I facilitate to have not only the platform to be on, but the space to be in and give them the opportunity to be able to be seen and heard.
And also it brings a professional face to it all. When you have a business entity, your EIN number and all
Correct.
those things registered, people take you serious. They take you
Correct.
serious too because they know you mean business. And now, so along with that, the other part of that is from your background, you think it's a safer approach to give less information out on the internet, correct?
1,000%. The less you give, the less someone has to gather, because this is, despite the fact that you might be on the good web, there's a dark web out there. There's a process where people are gathering information, and as much as they can add to those files, where they can be assume your identity or become you in this process, you have to be able to handle that situation by lessening the amount of information that's given. People have a tendency to want to give more or trusting, oh, your account is messed up. We need this information in order for you to log in. You must have multiple ways in order for you to log into your sites. Set up
Yeah.
the two-factor authentication codes so they can be sent to different things and places where only you have access to it.
And you know what? They are pain in the behind, but they do work. And it drives
Right.
me crazy because sometimes I'll get this notification like, is that you trying to log in on this device? Because if you come in from a different laptop, desktop, telephone, or if you travel to another state or country, it's going to ask, is that you? And so
Correct.
it does help. It does help to do that. And every now and then it also helps to reset things so you make it difficult because unfortunately hacking and spamming is at an all-time high right now.
Correct.
Definitely. Now, on the other side of that, you probably seen some interesting things working in the courthouse, huh?
Yes, I have. You name it, I've seen them, brought them out to be arraigned or whatever the case is, or charged or fined or whatever the case is. So you're talking about drug dealers, killers, muggers, prostitutes, car accidents, you name it, been there, done that. People who are just, hey, I'm trying to save my home. Somebody's trying to kick me out of my apartment. Somebody's trying to take my house. Somebody's trying to, you name it, seen it, been there, done that. Because with this court, it was all different types of people from every walks of life. So you'll have Of course, the criminals in the back chained up in an orange jumpsuit, and then you'll have other people who facilitated to either, come in for a violation or whatever the case is, have to turn in their license, or sometimes they might be arrested right then and there on the spot,
Hmm.
depending on if they have the monies to pay. To either pay for their tickets or whatever the case is, because the judge can say, "You don't have the money? Okay, I'm locking you up."
And you know what? Did that something you wanted to do? Like, when you were in elementary, middle, high school, and they said, what do you want to be when you want to grow up? Is that what you wanted to be, a court officer?
No, law enforcement, period. But age and time, because I've done other things in life. From management, I've been a director in a nursing facility. I've been a lot of different things in life. But the fact is, I love law enforcement because of the fact that it's cut and dry when it came to, listen, you're here for a reason. If you're innocent, you ain't got nothing to worry about. If you're not, you got something to worry about. And it's very cut and dry, very straightforward. I always played it by the book. And the process is not to sit there and, um, try to enforce judgment yourself. That wasn't my job. My job was to make sure that you stood straight. You didn't curse nobody out, and nobody attacked you while you being arraigned.
Wow, that's it. Now, you know what? One thing I never did know about you, married, single,
I'm single.
single. And so, how's that working for you? You enjoying being single?
Um, yes and no. Having a companion is a great thing. Being in love is a great thing, and I'm not a curmudgeon on love. I believe in life. Love is a beautiful thing. People have the opportunity to get to know someone, have someone in their lives, someone who cares about them. That's always a beautiful thing. And I hear
Correct.
these days, like certain comedians and different other people are talking about, I don't want a man living with me. I want a man, he can live down the block or he can live around the corner, but I don't want him living with me. And I want to be able to go visit. That's crazy. I'm from the old school. You
Right.
live with the person that you love. Y'all share the same space, and y'all care about each other enough to be able to work through those differences as they arise, as you're getting to settle into the life with each other that you both want.
Yeah, I agree. I think living separately is crazy. I mean, if you're gonna have that many irreconcilable differences or you that incompatible, then you don't need to be together. I mean, because you should
Facts.
be able to be under the same roof and coexist. You know what I mean? I mean, my goodness, that's crazy. And it's not the same dating in 2026. And once you start getting up there, like we about to be what we call senior citizens. We up there.
Well, I'm
So
actually, I got an AARP card, so I'm already that.
yeah.
I'm 53 this year in September. September, I'll be 53 years old.
And thinking back and looking back, when we were younger, we were anxious to get old, right? We were anxious to be grown. We were anxious to be 21, right? And now, when you think about it, now that you're here, what you thinking now? Like, oh man, maybe I should have waited. I should have stayed. Somebody should have kept me back there because somebody else was paying my bills and doing everything. So, what's your thought process now that you're grown and you think about back when you were a child trying to become grown?
Um, you know, I tell any young kid, anybody that's out there, I have a younger friend of mine who I used to work with, who said, adulting is is not what it's cracked up to be. Well, I tell people, and I used to tell kids, while you're living at home, stack every last bit of dough you can. Do the things in which you need to do, because when you're out on your own, your parents are not there. That's when you learn about what life is really about. The fundamentals of paying your own bills, getting up, being productive in life and society, just living is a food going up. With all the chemicals in the food now, what you can eat, what you can't eat, what messes with you as you get older. When you were young, you could eat, steal if you needed to, and there was no problem. Now it's like, if I eat that, 5 minutes later, oh, gotta go. And it's just a process of knowing who you are and what you want in your life. That makes a difference of who comes in, who goes out, or whatever the case is. At this age, I want peace.
Yes.
Not disrespect, not yelling, not fussing. Not, if I leave the cap off the toothpaste, all you gotta do is tell me once. I know how to leave the seat down if you're living with me. That's not a problem. When I need to lift it up, I lift it up and put it back down when I'm finished. But the fact is, I'm not a cook. I know how to clean. I know how to sew. My mother said, if a woman ever leave you, you'll never be dirty. You'll never be hungry, and you can take care of yourself. You can be self sufficient. So as far as, oh, you got to be in there all every day cooking, no, I can go in there and cook too. I can do the laundry. Just point me where the machine is. Machine's over there. Got it. What you need, your delicates? Okay, know how to turn the machine and tune it into. But the factor is, um, I'm at the age now where peace and tranquility is a beautiful thing. I want to be able to come in, lay in your arms. I'm an affectionate person, so I'll kiss you before I leave, and I'll kiss you when I get home, and I'll make sure I tell you bye because, like the song says, if I don't make it home tonight, baby, I see you for the last time, baby. Yeah. So that is the process. I want to make sure that I had said goodbye to you. The last thing I want somebody to remember is the fact that I said to them that I love them.
Yes. That's good. That's good. So if there's a woman watching here tonight and they say, "Oh, okay, I didn't realize Mac 357 was available." Uh, what type of woman are you looking for?
I know it's gonna sound crazy, but someone who is, and I know everybody likes taking trips and going here, there. I like a homebody. I'm
Mm,
sorry. I like staying home. Now, do I take trips? Yes. Do I go places? Yes. But that's not my uh first thing. I like being home. Can we go out to dinner? Yes. Can we go on trips? Couples, hanging out. Yeah, cool. All that's great. Don't mind doing it. But I like being home. I like the sanctity of home. I like the peacefulness of home. When you walking around and you ain't got hardly nothing on, I can go back. Go ahead, baby. Ah, you looking good tonight. Um, as opposed to, oh, here we go. Run, run, run. Move, move, move. Like, I got to the age where sitting down is a good thing because doing this job, I've been in clubs long periods of time, trying to interview people on the spot, red carpets, places. I've been there, done that. I'm good. Can we dance together? Yes, baby. I can turn on the music right here. We can dance. Um, you want to go out dancing? Cool. Let's go out. Let's have a couple night out. Whatever the case is. I don't, like I said, don't mind doing all of the above. But in a woman, I don't care about height. I'm not a height person. Oh, you got to meet this requirement to do this. As long as you're sexy and know who you are as a person, you got to smile. You got to laugh. I love a woman with a sexy giggle. And fetish wise, you got to be ticklish. I think it's
Oh,
sexy.
wow. Okay.
I,
Wow. That's
I,
it.
I think it's
Well, there
sexy.
you have it, ladies. He just gave it to you. So it don't have to worry about being light skin, long hair. What about natural? Do you like a natural woman? Doesn't matter.
Yes. Don't go to Doctor. I mean Doctor Frankenstein to be put together. Please don't. Um, whatever parts you came with, please be those parts. Now you ain't gotta. You can have mosquito bites up top. But you got to have a round mound of rebound. And it has to be natural. It has to be natural. It has to be plump, thick. Am I worried about a woman having a stomach? No. If you work out, great. I don't. I haven't worked out in years. I used to rack 3 on the bench, squat 4 or 5, and leg press 1,000 pounds. I was a monster at one time. I'm
Wow.
not trying to do that at this age. I will do enough that I can do as far as keeping healthy and keeping, yeah, I can walk and go do, little things to keep myself going. But as far as me being that monster again, nah, I'm good. But the process is for me, um, I look for a woman who wants to be loved.
Right.
Now, attractive, of course, but I'm not, I don't tell me, oh, I'm too dark skinned for you. You light skinned. No, that ain't me. Um, it's not about your color. It's about who you are as a person. And if we find each other attractive,
Right.
because my attractive might not be yours, and yours might not be mine. I'm not looking for Halle Berry, but I'm not looking for Halle Scary either.
That's right.
Uh,
And now you said something. You said something. A lot of time women have a thing about that pouch and about their weight stuff, but a lot of times as you get up in age, you get more comfortable in accepting who you are because your body's going to change.
Come on.
Age, it's going to change. So you need to understand you're not going to stay the way you were. As long as you're comfortable with yourself and you're confident, that's all that matters. And I know sometimes we as women, we are our biggest critics because sometimes we want to be back how we used to be. I struggle with that sometimes. Then I'd say, okay, I know I'm not going to get back to that, but I still want to be within a certain frame. So that's a woman thing, I believe.
Listen, I'm not. Listen, as long as I can move your, as you ladies call it, the fupa, to eat at the dinner table, I'm good. If that tells you exactly who I am, I'm not the person that needs Jane Fonda. I don't need that. If you work out for you, listen, baby, great. If you working out just to maintain your health because you have to, and the doctor says if you don't, something gonna happen to you, then keep doing it.
Yeah,
Um, but I'm not looking for the person who's the best fit, the best. If you are, great. We'll enjoy each other. I promise. But as far as the me having to have you look like a certain type in order for you to, nah, I'm not looking for. Um, Somebody who's 900 pounds either. But
right.
as long as everything's in the right place, we can rock. And it's natural. Yeah, like I said, you can have the body that's designed for you by the doctor, but let him keep designing somebody else. If you
Yeah.
come a certain way, I'm gonna keep you a certain way. Trust me.
Now, also, Mac, a lot of the internet had a big controversy because people always talking about, the high value men and people talking about how much money people make and 50-50 and all that stuff. Again, I know you're old school, so you don't think about none of that stuff. But is that crazy or what?
Um, it is and it isn't because in this day and age, unfortunately, a lot of people don't think about the reality of a situation. They look at themselves and what they want, but they don't look at the reality. Reality is the average person in the United of States, and if you look and you think I'm joking, you can Google it yourself, don't make enough to sustain two people.
Right.
They barely make enough to sustain one person. And the lifestyle in which somebody is either accustomed to or want, and they expect someone to provide that, it's a lot. You're putting a lot on one person. And once again, they have to be able to sustain that. So in order to sustain that, they either sometimes have to work one or two jobs in order to do that. Um, but my thing is if we're working together and we're working together to sustain our lifestyle, our movement, our everything, but it's a us thing. And that means you got to care about enough about the person that you're with to make sure you ain't killing him or they ain't killing you as far as the work because the average person is not retiring anymore.
Hmm.
I've seen people 70 years old out still working. Reason why is because they can't afford to retire.
And sometimes it's not always that. Like my niece said to me today, "Why you not retired?" Because I'm almost. I mean, I'm not a couple of years away from that. I'll be 67 on my next birthday. So I told her, I said, I'm comfortable. I work from home. I do what I want to do. I work 20 hours a week. But you see, my sister has dementia. My dad had Alzheimer's. So I like to keep my mind busy. I can stop working any day I want. And like I told her, as long as it doesn't interfere with me going where I want to go and do what I want to do, I'm good. When it starts to interfere and dictate my life, then I'll say, you know what, I could walk away from this. I'm good. But I know for some people they do it to keep their mind busy, because they just get idle and they feel like they're going to be bored. I know my ex, he retired twice and he always looking for work. I told him, I said, go get a hobby, go golfing or something. But some people just want to work and they don't have to. So it works both ways. What I mean? Some people do it because they absolutely think if they sit around, they're going to wilt away. They get bored, silly, and other people do it, for different reasons. But you are right. There are some that absolutely have to sustain their lifestyle. And it could be because they might be living over their means because maybe they came from a two income household, somebody passed away, they're trying to keep it, they don't want to downsize. Sometimes you just have to downsize and regroup and start over and just realize you're not that person anymore and just go ahead and live comfortably,
100%. But the other part to that is, once again, just surviving. The amount of money it costs for food and groceries alone, let alone the gas is now what, almost $6. Um, the economy is not what it is. We've been told that we're insolvent at this moment as a country. That means your debt is so much we can't we can't sustain you. The banks can't sustain us. The government can't sustain us. There's nothing. The floodgates are open. As far as the amount of money that the U.S. is pulling in, we don't make anything anymore. We
Right.
used to make everything, and now we barely make anything. And
Mhm.
everything that we buy is from other countries, or we borrow from other countries, and we do this from other countries. Like this current situation, as far as the war that we're in, um, it's billions of dollars going out the door, not $2, billions. With that being the case, we're dealing with so much that retiring is far and in between, because there used to be that you would get Social Security. They're saying the average person now won't see Social Security until they're in their 70s. And if that, and even then, the amount of money that they give you is, yeah,
Well, you
nearly none.
money in the system. I thank goodness that I was able to get mine. And if you put money, I've been working since I was 16. So if you put money in, you're gonna get money out. But I feel sorry for the person who hasn't been putting money in. Now, yes, you're right. If in about another 5 to 6 years, it's kind of scary for those people. But thank goodness for those of us who already are qualified. But you have to have multiple streams of income too.
Of
All right,
course.
you have to have some residual coming in. Okay, not just linear income, which is you exchange time for money and get a paycheck for 40 hours. Okay, you need to have residual so you can make money in your sleep. You need to have some
Correct.
kind of way that you're making money and utilize your gift that you have, because everybody has them. So that's important too. So that's good. I want to say hello. Thank you so much. I see Precious said good evening. I see Precious and Sheila Foster. She said great information there. So thank you so much for that. And Josh said good evening also as well. And
Well,
she definitely said she
Precious,
agrees.
Precious, I know. She's out in Canada. She owns her own business as well. She makes a lot of different. She 3D prints for a lot of different toys and different other fidget items for people who might need them. Because some people need something to fidget with throughout their day. Because mentally, they need something to depress them or make them, calm them down, whatever the case is. And she is a great business person. Has Does a lot of fairs out there in Canada. And when I say fairs, I'm talking about from Comic Con to whatever. She's the person that's connected out there. She's the main guru out there in Canada.
Okay.
She's very good at her job. Um, she can ship to people who are wanting key rings and different other things and logos. And when I tell you, even I hit her up about my logo, and she said, well, you have three knits of color that needed for this, and this changes to that, and blah blah blah, and so forth and so on. So she's that person. So big shout out to her for coming over and watching. I appreciate her.
All right. Thank you so much. And speaking of logo, that brings us to the next point, the evening experience. My
Yes.
goodness. Once again, if you just tuned in, you know this voice because you hear him tomorrow night, Thursday, and you're going to hear him say what he says. What's the opening line you say?
Hey, once again, it's War Mac 357. This is the Evening Experience Radio Show. 7 to 9 on Thursday goes down right here in the boudoir until COVID is over. We here, we live, we lit. Let's get it. Hey,
I love it. Who came up with that?
me.
Yeah. And so you started during COVID.
No, actually, my show was before COVID. Actually, we started in 2017. It was July 6th, 2017 to be exact.
Okay. Thank you for following Lisa. She said she just followed you. Yeah. He'll be on tomorrow night. Lisa Stocks is the person you might want to come on and have on now. She's going to get you right when it comes to your stocks, when it comes to investment, when it comes to your money. She's going to get you right. She had the channel here by the same name, Lisa Stocks, as well. But now, so What really made you get into this? I know that the young man came to you when you did Thicker and Thicker, and that was amazing because I know plus size women didn't always get that
The
visibility,
love and yes,
and they
correct,
weren't always. It wasn't even always respected. You know what I mean? Because it was always
correct.
about the little, small, petite women. So
Yeah,
when you start doing
sticks. I
it,
call them fire starters. Yes, sticks.
yeah, yeah,
Um, and then listen, everybody has their own preference. I love a thick woman, so I was already on board with that part. But and the mere fact that, but once I started, I literally um got hooked. It was like wow, talking to people. I was dubbed by the ladies, not by myself, but by the ladies, the man with the golden voice.
yeah.
Um,
Oh, the ladies. Oh, yeah, 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 definitely. Because you have a way about it, and so not only do you on your channel deal with people. I mean, it's inspiring, it's informative, it's entertaining, and you bring healing. So you have everybody on your show. I know, like tomorrow, you have 4 guests tomorrow. Who you have on your show tomorrow?
I got Mr. Larry Dobson, aka Pops. He's worked in the industry. He teaches music. He's also produces music, and he's a musician who's been playing for many years. Opened up and does his own shows. You'll see him hanging with people like George Clinton. And so many others. Smokey Robinson. You'll see him singing with Johnny Gill. People like that. Pops has been in the business for longer than I've been born. But the process is, he's an incredible guest. We have blues guitarist coming on tomorrow. We have an incredible.
And what
Uh,
is it? The million? What do you call it? The millionaire?
Yeah, no, young vocals. Young vocals is an R&B artist, platinum plaque. Has a few different accolades under his belt. Has been in the industry for a good minute. He has a number of music that's currently out. As well as we have the incredible DJ Newmark, who's part of the Funky Bunch. Now,
Funky.
formerly the real Funky Bunch. Just know that they were part of the original group, Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch, but the Funky Bunch is the actual group now. They rap, they rhyme. They got new music coming out. I got an exclusive that I'm gonna play them all on the show as well. But you name it, I've had them. Every celebrity. I've had Emmy Award winning actors. I had Grammy Award winning artists, superstar athletes, as you said, doctors, lawyers, financial people, people who own their own businesses, who are just trying to get some quote unquote notoriety out there in the public and making sure that people are able to see them. So yeah, you name it, I've had them. Uh,
And
from
you do
Lisa.
well with that. You do well. Like I focus a lot on the ordinary person doing extraordinary things, people who want to amplify their voice, that may not have normally be seen and heard, that have a hard time sometimes. They need a platform too. But let me ask you this for the person who might be starting out on a podcast or just trying to find their way in the radio industry, what is the secret? How do you manage to get those people to come to your show? Because somebody might be wondering, well, like, man, how can I do that?
Listen, I've been asked that recently, as maybe 3 days ago, I was asked that same question. I tell people the same thing. There's no secret sauce. Number one, you have to know what your platform is and what it's about. You have to be able to explain it to people. As I tell people, this is the evening experience. You experience us while we experience you. That process happens because of the fact that we took the time to research you. If you have a Wikipedia, learn about your Wikipedia, learn the information that tells people who you are, and we celebrate you on our show, and or inform people on our show about the things in which you do, you have, or places where they can see you. Um, the other part is the um, your reputation have to precede you. If you're a person that likes the salaciousness, I call it the process of tabloid type radio, you can have that. There are people out there who have those type of platforms where they're calling people out and talking about who they slept with and who they didn't. Nobody wants to talk to people like that. But sometimes they expect it, and because of the platform and or how it's advertised or how big they are, they'll go on there and try to deflect the question as much as possible, or have their publicist go and, hey, we ain't doing that, and keep it pushing. But everybody, is about that. I'm not. My show is about uplifting and helping people to understand who you are, what you've done in the industry. As far as what you do outside, that's on you and the world. Whatever you portraying to them, that's what you putting out there. I'm not helping you to put that out there or in any way, shape, or form, things of that nature.
So you're
Um,
focusing on their career in the industry, primarily.
okay, yeah, and I'm gonna give you one more that nobody's ever known. I had someone come to me and offer me R. Kelly's ex-wife
Mm.
to come on my show and to regale about what she's, how R. Kelly and the whole night. That's the selling point. And I said, no.
So
They were like, what? What part of no didn't you understand? The end of the O. No. I said, that's not what my show is about. And I'm
you
not
don't
having
want
that.
the messy stuff like that. Yeah.
Correct. That's not listen, whatever that man's done, he has to answer for it between him, God, and courts. I ain't got nothing to do with it.
So you can
So
shine without overshadowing others or without trying to put
correct.
others on blast, you
Correct.
know. And so that's where you are sure of yourself. And in this industry, it can get to a point where people feel like desperate to try anything for numbers. If they're
Bingo.
looking for numbers and views and subscribers or followers, right? I'm gonna say that again. If you're looking
And
for numbers,
wait,
views, subscribers, followers, ratings, all those things, people tend to do anything for it. But
correct.
if you just wait and let it be organic, what is for you is going to be for you. And that's my thing. My thing has been like, you know what, Lord, whatever you have for me, let it be. I'm at first, when I first came on the internet, I was looking at I was like, okay, you got to get this to do that. Remember they put it out there, you could buy a check mark.
Hmm.
I said, I'm not buying no check mark. If I don't get it naturally, I don't want it. I don't want to buy it. You
But
know,
what's the other part to that? The buying part. So I'd say this: I've had people offer me or wanted to pay me to come on their show, to have them come on my show, and I said no. They're like, why? I said because number one, if you pay me, I owe you something. That means I got to sit there and tell people you good when I don't feel you good at all. I got to tell people you're great when I don't think you're great at all. And I don't lie to my audience. I don't sit there and tell people what they want to hear or what people are trying to tell me I got to say in order to make sure that person is shown in the public as a good person when I know they're not. Or the music sucks. Yeah, you're great. You're the best. And your music's trash. No.
yeah,
So that means I'm not paying you to come on and I'm not gonna be paid to have you on.
right.
So the process is I get some people who think they're bigger than what they are, and their ego creeps in, like you've been sensationalized, say like in on the news. And I say, hey, I want to have you on the show. Oh, are you paying me to come on your show? No. If I've had people bigger than you on my show and I didn't pay them, I'm sure not gonna pay you. I promise you. I've had people like Cole from Martin on my show. I've had Brumman from the Fifth Floor on my show. I've had Lisa, Grammy Award winning artist. Lisa Fisher, Grammy Award winning artist. Full Force, Grammy Award winning artist. Uh, uh, Don Robinson from In Vogue, Grammy Award winning artist. You want me to keep going? I can go 1,000 names and you'll be sitting there, and I've probably forgotten more than I remember.
Right, right.
So,
And see, the thing
so
about it is your reputation preceded you, and so they come to you. You don't go to
willingly.
them. And so that's
Correct.
the whole thing about it. And so, like I said, hey, about that Wally, how you doing? It's been a minute. And so here's the thing: a lot of times people think it is about the names, right? So you're not really looking for the name. The names are looking for you.
Yes and no, but there's certain artists I really do want on because of the fact that they're legends. I'll say this. I look for the legend and icon that has been in the industry because of the fact that I want to give them their flowers. Because I grew up as a fan first before I
Right.
became a host, and I want to have them on to give them their flowers. A lot of times, people are remembered somewhat, talked about somewhat, when people remember to mention them. If I had the opportunity and Biggie was still alive, I would want to talk to Biggie at the age that he's supposed to be. I would want to talk to Tupac at the age he was supposed to be. I would want to talk to all of these different people who passed. James Brown. I met him once. But I was a kid at the time. Um, and I remember when Hollywood, I forget the name of the restaurant that was God bless him. Bruce Willis, Sylvester Stallone, and Arnold Schwarzenegger opened together. Planet Hollywood. I was there when they did it.
Yes.
On 57th Street, it was right across the street from it. And I remember when they premiered that night, the whole block was flooded with cameras and cameramen and news people. Um, so I've always been around it, but I've had people on like Lenny Green. Lenny Green is an incredible host from WBLS. He's been doing it since God knows when. I respect people like that. But the first person that I saw, and the reason why I wanted to do radio or anything that was in this industry was because of Arsenio Hall.
Arsenio.
Um,
I thought you were gonna say somebody like Frankie Crockett. Okay.
Nah. Arsenio Hall was the first person that I saw. I used to stay up late at night when Joan Rivers used to be on Channel 5. And he took over that time slot. Um, I loved what he did on air. The people he interviewed, the way in which he talked to people, which is why I pattern similar style of uplifting and helping people to grow and talking to people for real about what they did and
Right.
having them drop jewels for people who are coming behind them because there's always somebody standing behind you
Yes.
waiting to get that same shot, waiting to get that same everything. And because of that, I took the opportunity to have a similar process. I'll never forget. I had an autographed picture of him. He sent to me because I was a fan of his show. So having people on like that um, is what I do. And like I said, it's twofold. I have people come to me and say, "Hey, I'd like to have my client on your show," and their client's a big name. And sometimes I'll go seek them. But once again, the people who are standing there at the gates, who are gatekeepers, look at me and go, "Oh, it's Mac 357. Yeah, Mac. What day? When do you need them?
Yeah. Yeah.
When do you want them?" And I go, "Thank you, I appreciate that, and have them on."
May the work you do speak for you. Now, about that, Wallace says something interesting. He said, as a host, I notice people typically come for the guest. And that is the case. Sometimes they do come for the guests, and sometimes they may come later. Sometimes one good thing about the internet or even netcast television is people will go back and do a replay. So
Correct.
sometimes they may not catch it live, but they'll do a replay. So that's a good thing too. If there was somebody out there who was trying to start today, knowing what you know now from both sides of the business, what would you tell them if they were trying to set up a show right now on the radio or the internet? What would be your advice to them?
Know what platforms that are out there, know what they do and why they stream and what they make happen on the quote unquote net. Know what it is that your payout is because you have to have the equipment. I project my voice. So for me, I can have all the equipment set up or I can sit here and talk like I'm talking now. Because I project my voice, because I have a good speaking voice and I'm able to make that as if I had a microphone in front of me and I don't. And now, do I have a mic set? I have a quick mic set that I can put on myself right now, plug into this phone, and facilitate the talk through that if I needed to. But the process is knowing what equipment you need, knowing what platforms you want to stream for, and what they'll accept as far as content, flyers, music. Because, like with Instagram doesn't allow you to play anybody's music, doesn't allow you to, even if it's something that's advertised by them, they will flag you for putting it up because they'll say, "Well, why are you playing this content?" And you have to explain to them, or they might want you to take your videos down. Or certain people, they did own their music, now they don't own it. It's owned by the company that they bought it. As far as the masters or whatever else the case may be, or they're licensing it for some other place. You have to know all of that type of stuff. But make sure you get the proper equipment for when you're doing your show or if you're going out. into the world, or you've been invited to a party or industry, anything, you have to make sure that you're able to have the proper equipment, have the opportunities to highlight your show the best. In order for you to do that, you have to know who your guests are, their accolades. Even if you have notes, cue cards, whatever the case is, that you can refer to. Be a steward of the things in which you're supposed to use and utilize, and talking to people like myself who've been doing it since 2011. So it's almost 15 years later.
What
I'm
is
here still doing it.
the biggest mistake you've made in the industry?
Not doing this sooner.
Mm.
If I was doing this even um and making sure you connect with people. The process is you can't do this stuff alone. You can't do it alone. If you think you can, have at it. You need people who are willing to work with your show. You gotta work on getting sponsorships and different other things, and you have to have the number. Certain things, there's certain numbers that are required by companies and different people. Now, certain people go by, okay, this guy's had this Grammy Award winning art, that Grammy Award. After a while, they go like this. Yeah, his numbers may not be as big as others, but I tell people all the time, it's about your client. It's
It's
not
not
about
about
me.
you. There you go.
Your client, if your client has a few hundred people that, and maybe 20 of those people show up when they go live, then that should tell you something. It's not about me and oh, what people you having to come watch the show. People come back and watch my show all the time.
Yes, that's right.
But your I never forget. Shout out to Shannon and Cannon Briggs, two-time heavyweight world champion. Shout out to the UFC champion, Rampage Jackson. They came on my show that night. There was 75,000 people in my live.
Okay. All
And the numbers just kept going up. If I had stayed on longer, I had gave them a half an hour segment. Now going back and looking at it, I should have gave them my hour segment, and the numbers would have probably kept climbing
yes.
because you don't get those people who've been world champions just
Yeah.
strolling through the internet. Oh, this show looks nice. Let me hop on and go live with them. That doesn't work like that. Once
Yeah.
again, reputation, the proceeding of that process, your show, what it is, to have them on at the same time is is unheard of unless you're a certain show. Like Joe Rogan could do that if he wanted to,
Yes.
and certain other shows. But the process is having them on. My numbers went through the roof. So I send people those numbers, and I tell people all the time, it's about who your client is. If I'm talking to a publisher's manager, whoever it is, whoever your client is, if your client has that number, trust me, they'll be there.
Yeah.
And but then some people in this industry, and you gotta also understand, there's a lot of jealousy, a lot
Woo. Amen.
of haters in this industry. And I'm talking about even the guests you're bringing on might be a hater. Well, what's your numbers look like, and what people are on your show, as opposed to what is your client gonna bring? And then they don't want to promote the flyer or the advertisement that you're putting out because of the fact that they don't want their people to follow you. It's like what?
You know, it's interesting, and then it can be very motivating, and it can be disappointing sometimes
Pain
if
in the tuchus.
yeah, if you fall for it. I remember when David Morris came on my show. David is from A Few Good Men, and he was taught by Babyface and many others, right? And he was one of the groups that I worked with back in the '90s, and so I
You talking
saw
about the time?
David Morris. He with A Few Good Men, and
Oh yes, the group. Okay, gotcha,
Mhm.
gotcha, gotcha.
so it was something because I hadn't talked to him in a while, and I saw him now. I reached out to a couple people that I knew back then. Some of them won't respond, like Ashanti and different people. I'm like, it's funny because they forget who was there with them before they got where they are now.
Of
It's
course.
like, but anyway, he responded, and we had a great conversation. Oh my God, we talked offline, and so it's funny after the interview and everything. He hit me up. He said, "Chris, man," he said, uh, they loved it. And and you never know who's seeing it. And when he came back, I think he told me somebody with a big name, their mom, and I'm not going to say that person's name, but when he told me that, I went, "Oh wow, really?" So you just never know when you interview somebody who's going to see that because it's out there. You have digital documentation now that is on the internet, and it never goes away. It never goes away. Once something's on the internet, that's it. That's why when people commit a crime, they get caught. Even if they go do a search or something, and they you can find it. Like it's in there. Like if you just be careful, Chat GPT could get you caught up. If you search something on Chat GPT that you ain't got to been searching, and then you do something crazy, they can go back and track that. So it's definitely that. I see a question here from About That Wallet. Let me go to that for a minute. About That Wallet asked, if you were to start a radio show today, what would you do first? Try to make money or build a community? That's a good question. I love it.
Um, if you, as the old saying goes, if you build it, they will come. So building it, it would be second. I need to get paid because, yeah, brother need to pay some bills. So I would go for the money, because nobody starts out at the top. You always got to start from the bottom and
Always.
work your way up. And it's the work that you put in that makes a difference of you getting to the top or what you perceive as the top. I've had people on from the have and the have nots, 50 Cent show, Power, you name it, I've had them. So it's not for me about what pinnacle I can reach, or I've just had the 6 time uh different weight class champion on the show, James Lights Out Tony. That doesn't just happen. People don't just, well, actually it did, but that's not the point. The point is, when I said it did happen, like he popped on my show and I was on the week before, and he just happened to pop in the live, and I said, "Yo, brother, I would like to talk to you about it." Not even 20 minutes later, he DM'd me his number. I called him and said, "I want you on next week." No problem, brother. I got you. Let's do it. He came on, funny as hell. Da da da. I even have Sugar Ray Leonard who follows my show. But to answer your question, it's about, to me, I need to get money first because everything else will come. If you have the right people on, the right segments, the right people, the right movies, the right this, that, the other, and people start to know who you are and start to invite you places and, hey, come over, Mac, come over here, Mac, come over there, Mac, come on. You get into places that most people can't walk into
Okay.
or can't be connected to. So my reputation will build as I'm building it. And the way I maneuver in this industry will stand out according to the way in which I do it. So for me, I'd rather get the money first, and then everything else will follow.
And Precious said, there's always enough to go around. Collaboration over competition. That is so true, Precious. Now, speaking of that, I want to say something also. It's also your integrity level. Like what you told me when you came on today. I want to thank you so much because you said you were supposed to be somewhere. You got invited to an event tonight that was happening at the same time at the show, but you were a man of your word and you stuck to your commitment with me. You see
Correct.
what I'm saying? And so I take that as a compliment because you could have easily said, Crystal, I got to reschedule. You know, I need to reschedule because I need to be over here for this artist, you know. So I don't take that lightly at all. So I want to thank you for that. That meant a lot to me when you said that to me. Definitely. Because you could have easily said, well, listen, way out. Because sometimes, you weigh things out. You're like, oh, what,
Now, let me
what am
let
I,
me let,
what's the
let,
benefits over here? What's the benefits over here? What
let,
am I?
let, let me weigh. Hold on. Let me weigh my option. Beautiful woman to interview me, or listening to an artist at his debut of his album. Beautiful woman interviewing me, debuting artist. I'm gonna go with the beautiful woman.
Well, I appreciate that. But also some people have different priorities and they just
Correct.
go with
Correct.
different things. And so that's good. And I want to say to you, I see what you're doing. I even noticed when you took a sabbatical for a while, you even got sick at one point and you
Correct.
stopped because you weren't feeling well, but you still did not go away. And so kudos to you for
Well, you can't go away because that's when people forget you and go, "Who you again?" But the thing is, as long as you're putting something in your reels or your stories to let people know how you're doing and they're able to track you. And if they really rock with you, they'll definitely come back. The other part to that is making sure that you stay true to who you are and what your nature is. That makes a difference of your reputation preceding you and people knowing who you are. Well, that's Mac 357. I don't really have to go. I'm Mac 357. This is the evening sprint. Who is I'm somebody. No, it's like, oh, that's Mac.
That's it. They
Yeah,
know you are. Now you said something else you did that was really key. And people, I hope y'all caught this because this is important. It's a skill set that you need to know. He said he was doing a live and he spotted somebody that was in there and he acknowledged them and he said something to them and then they ended up in his DM and then he got them on the show the next week. So it is very important that you pay attention. So even though you are hosting these show and you are in the moment, you are keeping everything flowing, you're making sure everything is relevant, but you still have to pay attention to who's coming in and out. That's important on the internet. You have to pay attention because you can miss your opportunity right there. Even if you just say hello. I have had times when people pop in, I'll be like, oh, hey, how you doing? Ali Sadiq, hey, what's going on, man? They might not stay but 5 seconds. So you got to creatively acknowledge them in the middle of your sentence and keep going. You know what I'm talking about? Am
correct.
I right about it?
Correct, 100%. Because you never know, and I tell people this all the time. You never know who's going to pop in my live. So when he popped in and I acknowledged him, the people said, "Wait, that's James Lights Out."
Yeah.
Yeah, I said you'll never know who's watching. The person who shocked me when I first interviewed her, which I think she's the sweetest, most beautiful, incredible person in the world, is Lisa Lisa. When she came on my like so at the time when I was on that station, in the mix radio, there was a few different shows that were on there, and everybody was vying for her to come to be a part of that show. One of the other hosts that was on that station said, "Lisa, can you come?" Da, da, da. She said, "No, I can't." Da, 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 blah blah blah. But I can do a live, IG live or YouTube live, like you're doing right now on Streamyard. So she did the StreamYard with them or whatever the case is. So I said, "Ooh, I would love to have Lisa on." So I reached out to her and I said, "Hey, Lisa, can you come on my show?" She said yes immediately. And I was like this, huh?
What?
And she came and that same show was like, "Well, how the hell did you get her?" I said,
I asked.
and that's literally what I said. I asked. What shocked me was when she sat down once again, beautiful person, incredible spirit. She said, I watch your show. And I was sitting there and I was getting ready to ask another question. I looked up, I said, what? She said, yeah, I watch your show. I was like, come on, stop playing. She said, no, I'm serious. I think you're excellent at what you do. I loved it. That's the reason why I'm on. She said, because of the fact that you are a person that literally you're there for your guests and you don't do none of that crazy stuff and you really celebrate people and I really like that. And she said you're a great host and I said wow. My face was like this. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, just an incredible person, and I've had people like that on since. People
Yeah.
from the movie Stump the Yard, the Family Business, from the movie Life, um, and the list goes on. But the process is, and I'm not egotistical. I don't tell people. People tell me all the time, "You're a celebrity." I tell people this all the time. I'm. My mother raised me to be a normal human being, not
Right.
to be a celebrity. I don't
Yes.
walk around not talking to people or giving information because, like I tell people all the time, anybody can do what I'm doing. Now, to the grade and degree that I'm doing it, maybe not because they're not me. But
Exactly.
you have your own niche that you have to find. I can give you the tools and tell people which equipment to buy and where to buy it. Now, you don't even have to tell somebody. If you've been on TikTok, TikTok Shop has all of these different little DJ
Microphone.
equipment and little microphone setups that you can buy and you can start your own thing. Once you hook it up and you go live with it, hey, it's me. I'm here and I'm doing it. Yeah, you can do all of that. But the process is What are you talking about? Who's your market? Who you targeting? Understanding what you're trying to focus on and finding people in that area that's trying to focus on and getting them to come. But once again, if you build it, they will come. All of these famous people did not pop on my show
Right.
because
They didn't come right away either.
immediately.
That's right.
It took some time, but once the ball started rolling, the ball's still rolling. And it keeps rolling because of the fact that once again, I keep the pendulum moving because of the fact that I talk to people correctly, I respect them, I do my research, and I make sure I know who I'm talking to. Like the incomparable, the incredible, the beautiful Miss Melba Moore.
Yeah.
She's been on my show.
Yeah.
Why? Because of the fact that once again, my reputation precedes me. I've had Cool from Cool and the Gang on my show.
Yeah.
Why? Once again, same thing,
Well,
and
here's the
so
other
forth.
thing too. What you also say has a lot to do with you. You have to be consistent
Correct.
because they see you're consistent and they see that you have structure. That makes you trustworthy because now they know it's like regular scheduled programming. I mean, you
Correct.
have to be reliable. They have to know that this is going to happen and it's happening on a consistent basis. So I think all of that is all well and fine. And you said something, I think if nobody can catch anything else, the biggest thing is you have to know why you do what you do, and you have to be able to sell yourself and tell people. You have to be able to express what is your show all about. And you heard
Correct.
what he said in the beginning, what he has and what he will not do. And you have to stick to that. So if you do that, I think that's going to be great. Well, what is it that you want people to say about you when you are done? When you stop and you do your last radio show, what do you want the people to say?
That this man cared about what he did and cared about the people that came on and made sure he took care of them while they were here. He respected them and what their jobs were when they came on or what it still was that they were doing, and that he made sure to give them a great space to tell their stories in.
And thank you so much, Precious, for that. Who is it that you would like to thank? I mean, I know you said Arsenio Hall is somebody that you patterned your show after because you loved the way he did what he did. But if it, in addition to that, who else is it if you wanted to really take this moment to thank anyone for being there for you to help you get to where you are today, whether it was for your career, personally, anything. If you had to take this moment, who would you?
First and foremost, I'd like to thank DJ Money Making Sean, aka the Cold War Soldier, for giving me the opportunity to start. I'd like to thank In the Mix Radio. I'd like to thank Demetrius Studio Networks. Uh, D. I'd like to thank Tanjika Watts. I'd like to thank the PR architect. I like to thank Good Girl PR. I like to thank so many PRs and people who I've worked with in the industry. I like to thank them all. I'm not going to remember them all at this moment, but I like to thank everybody who's helped this show to reach the plateau and pinnacle that it's at and that it keeps going. I like the fact that people um, are, trust me with their clients, trust me with the people that they work with. And for those who sometimes, and this is for industry people, and this is for up and coming people, don't gatekeep. Um, Not every platform, anybody, and everybody should receive your clients, but don't gatekeep. If you know the person's of caliber, give them their props. Respect the fact that they have a show. Because remember, before you got to the pinnacle that you are, you started small. Nobody knew who you were. And they had to build you to the point where you're the mega star, superstar that you are. So just remember where you came from. I'm not saying you're supposed to hop on everybody's platform, but some of them open up the door and go, hey, that's a good person. This is someone I would like to be on that show because they treat people with respect. They care about people. They took the opportunity to learn who I am, to want to have me, to talk about me. These are the things that people don't do. So sometimes you get shows, and I've been on them where I've seen people go, "Yeah, they're here. Oh wow, it's crazy. You got this movie coming out. All right, we talking about the movie. Yeah, bye bye bye. Okay, that was great. Thank you for being here. We'll talk with you soon. Take care. Bye." It's like what? What was that? That's not an interview. That was a sound bite, a segment, or depending on what the show structure is, you might get somebody asking you something crazy. But for those shows that don't, give them a shot. Open up the door. Say, hey, come on in. I would like to have you on. Um, I wouldn't have been in the Source magazine, Sheen magazine, and a few different other periodicals from Atlanta and different other places if people didn't respect what I do. Um, but the thing is, your reputation precedes you. Respect yourself first and foremost. Don't compromise on anything. Care about what you do. Don't give in, don't give up, don't give over to anything and anyone that doesn't align with what you're doing. And don't do it just because you need to. Do it
Yeah.
because you want to.
And do it because you love, and do it because that's what you call to do. If you walk
Correct.
in your calling, it's going to flow for you. I love what you said, and I mean, I can't even come behind that. That's it, because you're right. People do forget where they come from. And there's an old saying, don't despise small beginnings. So, people have to be real careful who they mistreat and how they look at people, because you might see that person again. And you'd be like, it could turn. I mean, just as quick as you made the money, you could lose it in a
Correct.
blink of an eye. Your life can change,
Correct.
and I've seen it happen. I've seen those go real high and drop real low.
Correct.
So it can happen to the best, so don't take that for granted. Mac, I want to thank you for stopping through and coming through again, man. We had this conversation in 2023. Much respect to you and what you're doing and how you're doing it. And any closing comments you'd like to give the people? You just gave some great nuggets right there regarding anything in the future. If you want to give your contact information, if you're looking for help or future slots, anything that you want to tell the people right now, you can feel free.
I want to tell people thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. For those who will be watching, I appreciate you taking the opportunity to listen to what I'm saying, and to want to find out who I am and what my show is about. We're on 7 to 9 on Thursdays. I have a YouTube channel as well here, The Evening Experience. Tap in, you'll see great shows there. More on my Instagram page, The Evening Experience. We're on TikTok, MACH 357, Mac 357. You can tap into the show. You can tap in with me. You can DM me. The Evening Experience 73, all one when you're emailing me at gmail.com. So the Evening Experience 73 at gmail.com. If you want to tap in with me that way. Otherwise, you can DM me. I actually check my DMs, and no, there ain't no craziness going on in my DMs. I'm just here for the work. So if you want to holler at me. And we'll definitely link up and go from there. Now, I tell people this all the time. Not everybody makes my platform. I will not lie to you and tell you, oh, I'm gonna have you on just to have you on. No, I don't do that. I check you out and I see if it fits my platform or if it's something I really want to talk about, and then I have you on and we'll definitely talk. But the process is the only way you're gonna know is by taking that first step and going, hey Mac. Um, but the other part is make sure you respect what you do. If you have respect for it, it will have respect for you. But this moment that you in any way, shape, or form don't respect what you're doing, it has a way of slapping you in the face. So make sure you are a person that proceeds proceed with caution. And those are the things that people don't do. They go all out, and then they find out they should have tempered some of that or held some of it back because it's not what's going to help them to get to where they need to be.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much for that. That right there is that's it. You heard it from him. And once again, send him a message, Mac357 on Instagram on all platforms. His show is tomorrow night, 7 to 9 on Instagram. And then you upload to YouTube when? Or is it live simultaneously?
Well, it's actually live. I have other shows that I'm putting on YouTube, but once again, that's up and coming. But for the most part, you'll see them right there on Instagram. You can go to my Instagram page, The Evening Experience, all one word. Once you tap in with that, trust me, you'll see that and then some of the people. And then I have correspondence that I have in New York. I'm getting other correspondence. So if you want to work with me, and you have your own video equipment and cameras and microphones, there are places I can send you, but you're not representing yourself. You're representing my show.
Mm.
So that means you have to proceed accordingly. You can't sit there and go, hey, this is me. I'm here doing me. No, you're not there for you. You're there for me. And the process is I don't mind sharing bylines. So if you do have a show and I put you in place, just make sure you're in there and say, hey, I'm a correspondent for the Evening Experience radio show. My name is such and such, and you're here tonight to talk about whatever it is, whether it's a film, whether it's music, whether it's wherever. The process is this is how it works. This is the way it's going to go, so forth and so on.
And there you have it, guys. And so, yeah, if you ever need something down here in North Carolina, let me know. I'm here, And now we also have Hope Catalyst TV available on Roku devices, so you can check it out. And you'll probably see this episode there too. And what we love about it is that we are not only getting people seen globally on the internet, and also they can be heard on places like iHeartRadio. So we're branching out in many places, ladies and gentlemen. You are listening to Mach 357. The Evening Experience, and we want to thank you so much for being here. I am your Hope Catalyst, Crystal Bodie Smith. My mission is to stir up the gift, instill hope, and save lives. And I simply say, keep hope alive, whatever you have going on. We will be back Sunday night, and we got a couple of good ones coming up for you too. This Sunday, we have comedian CJ Starr. That's right, CJ Starr will be here this Sunday, so you don't want to miss that. She's doing amazing things in Cleveland, Ohio. And we want to thank you, Mac, so much for coming through. And ladies and gentlemen, you've been watching Storytime. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment, and let us know where you're chiming in from. And we'll see you on the next Storytime. Mac, it's been a pleasure. Once again, take it easy, man. And again, if you need me, just call me. I'm always here, And if you come across people and they want to share their story after they're on your platform, feel free to tell them about Storytime as well, okay?
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Be blessed, everybody. Have a good one. Thank you for being here. You've been watching Storytime. Keep hope alive. We'll see you on the next Storytime. Peace.
A catalyst for change with the chance to thrive. Crystal is the one to stir up gifts and save lives. You get exposure, promotion, and marketing too. And advertise for business owners just like you. On Storytime, your interview is global. Virtual or in person, just come on the show. Yo. Your story matters. Crystals will open the door. 40 years of experience ready to give you more on Storytime. Get ready for Storytime. Hey, come on.